6 months into a second term and after more than 6 weeks of debate, Congress has now passed President Donald Trump's big, beautiful bill. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Rolly Hoyt.
And I'm Faith Woodard. The decision coming just a day before the president's target date of July 4th.
Yeah, the legislation significantly boosts spending for border security, immigration enforcement, and defense. And it also extends those tax cuts passed in 2017. It increases the child tax credit and it ends taxes on some tips and overtime pay.
But Democrats voted against the bill unanimously, citing changes and steep cuts to safety net programs, including SNAP and Medicaid.
And progressive groups here in Arkansas have been raising alarms about those cuts for weeks.
THV 11's Rebecca Brown spoke to an economic policy expert to unpack the details and explore what's at stake.
So it's not just about, this $1 trillion price tag. It's all the downstream effects that are really going to hurt.
Pete Guest and his team at Arkansas Advocates for Children and Families work to improve lives through data-driven policy advocacy. And now they are focusing on the potential consequences of this new federal bill.
Let's say your community is losing, $10 million or $100 million of Medicaid funding. That really is going to hurt local hospitals especially hard.
The bill contains major cuts to programs like Medicaid and SNAP, which support Arkansas families. It's also expected to add trillions to the national debt.
Well, long term, it may actually make it harder for the U.S. to sell bonds for all this debt, which means bond rate and long-term lending rate goes up. So it might actually be more expensive for Arkansans to try to get a home mortgage or a loan for a car.
Guest says his bill also places new financial burdens on state governments.
If we have to start shouldering more and more of that expense, it really squeezes the state budget. And what happens? Where can we make cuts?
Guest says he created a map to bring home the idea of how this will affect communities. It shows all 75 Arkansas counties using data from the U.S. Census Bureau and the Congressional Budget Office, showing Medicaid dollars lost and SNAP benefit dollars lost over the course of 10 years.
For example, Monroe County. So, only 37 million lost, and only 441 people newly uninsured. But that hits that county just as hard, right? There are fewer people there, and so that loss of money that is supporting families in Monroe County is going to be felt there, just like the tremendous loss in Pulaski County.
In Little Rock, Rebecca Brown, THV 11 News.
All right, Rebecca, thank you. The entire Arkansas congressional delegation supported the bill, pointing to its tax relief for people of all income levels and increases in border security. President Trump will sign it in a special holiday ceremony tomorrow afternoon.
If you're going to be out and about this evening, maybe headed to some Independence Day parties or checking out the fireworks shows, and you're sensitive to ozone, respiratory issues, just keep this in mind. We do have a code orange when it comes to air quality. That goes all the way through this evening. Looking at the latest observations, we are below that threshold, but the air quality alert is for Pulaski County and all the counties surrounding Pulaski County for the most part. We could see another air quality alert issued for 4th of July. That's yet to be determined. For sky conditions across the region, we've got a mixture of sun and clouds. There were some showers and thunderstorms into southwest and south Arkansas. Those have really lost a lot of their punch and have just weakened to pretty much an isolated shower. We'll hang on to that potential isolated shower early this evening. Otherwise, we'll see clearing skies. Temperatures drop down into the low to mid 70s to kick off Independence Day. It's going to be hot and a little bit on the humid side, but it could be much worse this time of year. Highs will top out into the low to mid 90s, and there is that chance of isolated pop-up shower storm. I'll have a look at future radar and have your complete holiday weekend forecast coming up.
Nathan, thank you. An Arkansas doctor facing felony fraud charges and more than 150 civil lawsuits has been arrested again. Dr. Brian Hyatt, facing a drunk driving charge now, all while he awaits trial in October for allegedly ripping off Medicaid. Prosecutors are asking the court to update the conditions of his bond to prohibit him from drinking. They're also requesting that a breath test device be installed on his vehicle. Police said he had an open container of alcohol in his car and then refused to take a test with police. A hearing for the requests is expected to happen July 11th. Attorney General Tim Griffin suing 2 companies for violating the Arkansas Deceptive Trade Practices Act. One, Bolts Steel Furniture. He accuses them of false advertising after receiving 33 complaints from customers saying they cheated or stole a total of more than $27,000. The other lawsuit will go against a now closed company called Community Builders. He says customers complained their supposedly 3-month bathroom models ended up taking far longer. One customer says the company harassed them when they complained. The AG says elderly customers who lost $17,000 are among these victims.
The historic St. Joseph Center in North Little Rock will soon be demolished. You may remember the building caught fire in March, and since then the plan had been to rebuild it. According to Bishop Anthony Taylor, the cost to restore the building is more than just rebuilding it. In a statement, he says the decision was a hard but necessary one. The building has been standing for the past 116 years. Now, during these hot summer days, more folks are spending time outdoors and some taking a spin on their bikes. But as a new study shows, some Arkansas cities rank better than others when it comes to friendliness on the streets. Tonight, THV 11's Brooke Buckner shows us the current ratings and what's being done to improve our roads for cyclists.
In a new study from People for Bikes, Arkansas's capital city falls right in the middle of a statewide list for being considered bike friendly. Now, this study focuses a lot on speed limits, and the city's bike pedestrian coordinator tells me adjusting these limits even just a little bit could improve Little Rock's rating.
If you look at the map on People for Bikes, it's all red in Little Rock. If you look at Fayetteville's, it's going to be all blue. It flipped. It was like a sea change. And the reason for that is those side streets all went from 30 miles an hour to 20 miles an hour.
Little Rock's bike pedestrian coordinator John Landusky says if we did the same here, Little Rock could significantly rank better. According to the 2025 ratings, you'll see Fayetteville is ranked number 1, and Little Rock falls at number 11 on the list out of the 22 Arkansas cities included. Pine Bluff and North Little Rock have the poorest rankings in the central Arkansas area. But Landusky says this study doesn't take as deep of a dive as others do.
That number is poor, but it doesn't reflect all the things that we have done and are doing.
Like installing neighborhood greenways.
You install signage that says it's a neighborhood greenway, wayfinding signage, pavement markings, and reduce those speeds to maybe 25 or 20 miles an hour. It's just a way to highlight that this is a street that prioritizes people walking and biking.
Even for the cities ranked higher on the list, like Conway at number 6, the work to improve isn't stopping.
Trying to connect different parts of the community, whether it's east and west, north and south, also connecting major things like the colleges, schools, hospitals.
Conway's bike and pedestrian coordinator Terry Coddington says there's a lot of potential, not just for his city, but for Central Arkansas as a whole.
Eventually you'll see Little Rock connecting to Mayflower, Maumelle, and then Conway connects to those, and then eventually you'll be able to ride from Conway all the way to Little Rock to Hot Springs. And when you do that, then obviously tourism comes into play, recreation, but it also affects the alternative transportation, getting people to and from work.
Brooke Buckner, THV 11 News.
Well, as families gear up for the 4th of July, one Pine Bluff group is making sure everyone can celebrate with a little less worry. The First Ward Living Grace Food Pantry is teaming up with city and county leaders. They did that today to host a holiday giveaway, offering food and essentials to anyone who otherwise might go without. But Pine Bluff leaders say it goes beyond meeting basic needs. It's also about building trust and reducing violence. Speaking of celebrations, Pops on the River returns to downtown Little Rock tomorrow night at the amphitheater near the River Market. There'll be plenty of live music, food, fun, and of course those fireworks. The best news, it's all free. Gates will open at 5. Fireworks start just after 9.
And as fireworks light up the sky, audiologists remind us that loud celebrations can put our hearing at risk. Warning signs of damage include persistent ringing or a noticeable loss of hearing.
So anything above about 75 decibels of volume can be very harmful and cause permanent damage to your hearing. The reason why that happens is because we have these little tiny hairs inside the cochlea that become damaged with too loud of noise exposure, prolonged noise exposure.
Now, just for reference, a human speaking is normally around 65 decibels. So if the signs don't go away, experts say you should see an ear, nose, and throat doctor immediately. And after the fireworks shows are over, you have to make sure you clean up, and you need to do it safely. While fireworks don't expire, there's still the potential of fires happening from throwing away debris or unused fireworks. That's why firefighters say you should soak them in a bucket of water overnight before throwing them away.
If you see smoke coming from it, don't touch it yet. Just wait a little while. Wait till you're finished igniting all the fireworks. Give it, some time. And then once you gather up all of the remnants from it, put it in a bucket of water.
If you don't use all your fireworks and choose to store them for a later date, make sure it's in a cool, dry area in a plastic, non-flammable container with a lid, no cardboard boxes.
Well, you heard
It's dry in downtown Little Rock, but there is one lone downpour that's popped up over southwest Little Rock, pretty close to Geyer Springs. I'll have a look at the radar across the rest of the state coming up.